Welcome again. We are going to do a still life today with shading and tone. So tone is the lights and darks in a picture. Before we start on that, I will show you some sketching techniques, and all you'll need for this project is a white piece of paper, a regular pencil, and if you have preferably a white cup and a piece of fruit, that would be great. Okay, let's go. Hello and welcome again. We're gonna do some sketching today of still lifes. Are traditionally things like cups and apples and bowls, things that you put in front of you on a table, a vase of flowers. I have the teddy bear that I have almost all the students draw in the very beginning. He's been here for over 20 years and that's why he has paint on him, but he still serves the purpose. So I want to talk to you about sketching. There's a different way to hold the pencil when you're sketching versus writing. So when we write, we're holding it like this, and when we're doing detail. So we will switch over to holding it this way. If you can, give it a shot and try holding it this way for sketching. See, I can roll it on my fingertips. I put my fingers kind of close to the end, and the backs of my fingers are resting right on the surface. So I don't want you to lift the pencil off the page and just go from one shape to the next. Okay? I want you to be very light and loose. That's different about sketching, is it's very light, loose, scribbly. And I don't want you to erase. I don't want it to be perfect in the beginning. So the purpose is to have a rough draft of what you're gonna do. Most of us cannot look at something and draw it perfectly. We're not copy machines. And we also want to have the ability to change the composition and put things where we want them. Instead of when you start out drawing really detailed, wherever you start with that dark line, you're kind of stuck in that spot, because that's not going to erase as easily as those. You can use a regular number 2 pencil. I don't want you to use the eraser though. I am using a darker pencil just so for purposes of being able to see it on the video. But I would rather you have light lines. So the teddy bear, well, you can break a lot of things down into simple shapes. Still lifes, especially animals, and that's what I teach my students. So for example, the teddy bear, I'm gonna start with the largest shapes first. He's gonna be entirely in circles. And I'm going to do each shape about 2 or 3 times. Don't pick the pencil up from the paper. I'm looking over there. And so it's training your eye-hand coordination for your brain to see it and to tell your hand where to go. And you get better and better the more you practice. So notice when I was sketching, I did each shape about 2 or 3 times. And I always go the same direction. I'm going counterclockwise. But if you go clockwise, that's fine. Just keep going the same direction. So if I change directions mid, I lose my momentum. You see that? Pause. Another good practice thing is to ovals. Circles are easy to do. They're large, they're small. Ovals, you probably can't see those light lines. Ovals can be very narrow or very wide. And they can also turn all these different directions. So this is a good warm-up exercise. A lot of people, when you're getting your brain to do all these different things that are new to you, see how I haven't turned it? So after a while, you'll feel comfortable to do the oval and to turn as you go. So that is a really good warm-up exercise. Now, when you're done with your sketch, that's when you can adjust it if you need to, or continue. I'm going to hold it this way now and put in the lines that I want to keep. And I'm putting the details in. Okay. I like to put these kind of feet on the bottom of them. Okay, so you see how that's going. I just realized that you couldn't even see my face, but it doesn't matter. You guys all know what I look like, and it's really about drawing. So I'm okay with that if you're okay. Okay, I put a still life up there because that's going to be our final project today. And I put one thing in front of the other. Most people's tendency, and here I'm going to break it down into simple shapes. Oval and 2 lines for the cup. I do the biggest thing first, and that. Now, if it is too hard to hold the pencil this way, not to worry. Hold it the regular way. Be kind to yourself. It does not have to be that way. If you can hold it this way, except we're used to holding it really tight, making dark lines, just keep practicing. You do have control of making lighter lines. Start out lighter. You probably can't see that. Start out lighter and go darker, darker, darker. And then do the reverse. Start out darker and then go lighter, lighter, lighter. And before you know it, you will be able to adjust how hard you're pressing. And also you have a flat surface where I have a slanted, so that might make it a little trickier to hold the pencil that way. Now, that cup, we know the opening of it is a circle, but we're not looking down that way on it. We're looking at the side of it. So I'm estimating about how open that oval is. And remember, don't take your pencil off the page. And I'm looking over there. I'm going to make a line like that, because you can see that they are not like this. They are not right next to each other. One is in front. So if you can imagine a line right here, that's a tool that I'm going to use, that I used right here before I even drew the apple. I could even do this. I can make 2 little indicators where the apple's going to be. I can do this one and maybe make a mark for that next, for the top of it. And then do my apple. Okay? Doesn't have to look perfect. I want it to be scribbly and messy. Okay? Any questions? Ah, kidding. I know you guys can't answer me. So I'm going to go on to the next still life object. We have the brown pitcher and the green bottle. Okay. The bottle is a very narrow cylinder shape, is a man-made shape. And then to make it straight, this is called a plumb line that I'm doing right down the middle so that this next cylinder shape ends up right in the middle. I'm done with that sketch. Now, remember I said about turning your pencil this way to do the details? I wouldn't do this if it was way out of shape. I would fix it first. And these lines I drew a little bit dark so you guys could see, but those lines, these lines are going to get erased or colored over. Okay, the brown pitcher, if you look at it, you can probably break it down into some simple shapes. A circle for the bottom and a cylinder for the top. And here's my cylinder. Ran out of room, so. And then it has a little lip right there. Okay? Anyways, these are things you can practice with some, simple shaped dishes that you have at home. A bowl is going to be a wider opening, right? A vase or a vase. I will get a vase to show you this. I'm making my indicator lines because I want it to be like that. Okay? Okay, I'm cracking up at my own videos because my head's cut off, and my mom says that's okay. She's sitting over here with me at the studio.
Okay.
We have another thing that we could do with shapes. So probably this time I will cut off, I don't know, the vase or the board. Let's see what happens. I can draw a plumb line, and I'm going to say that the flowers take up not quite as much room, but a lot of room, not as much as the vase. So I'm going to leave some space for that. Here's my plumb line. I can do top of my vase, the oval. Remember we talked about the opening is really a circle, and we can't even see it, but I know that it's there. And then it gets narrower, so see my oval is narrower, can't say that word, than the other one. And then it gets wide again. If you want to just do a big giant oval there, that's fine. Okay, so then, oh, there goes my pencil. Then I'm not going to do anything detailed right now. So remember, in sketching, the thing is to simplify things, just some shapes, not detail. And I think that the mistake everyone makes is they want to do detail too soon. I'm just making up my leaves, which you can do too. And then I'll turn my pencil the other way and put in some darker lines and then add color or whatever I'm going to do with that. I probably would make these a little more detail later when I add color. You can find the center of a rose, like this one is over on this side, and just do some squiggly lines for petals around it. Okay, next we're gonna do shading. I turned things around so that you could see what I'm doing easier. Unfortunately, you get to see the back of my head now, and if you see any gray hairs, don't tell me about them. Okay, so here is our still life. You start out sketching the largest thing first. It could be messy lines, but if you can do them lightly, that's the key. Okay, now tone has to do with how light or dark something is. There is tones in black fabric, if the way the light's hitting it, and everybody thinks of like yellow as being a light tone. It is, but there is dark tones of yellow, light tones. So we're going to simplify the still life, not only like we did the drawing, but the tones. So we're just going to use 3 tones. I don't know if you can see this. I used a regular number 2 pencil. Actually, it was an HB. I did it lightly, medium, and dark. Okay. By the way, on your pencils, I am using a darker one, but the B stands for black. So the higher in number, here's HB, what I was using, and if it goes 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B. So the bigger the number, the B stands for black, the softer the lead, the darker the line. Here's a 6B. So the H stands for hard. So the harder the lead, the lighter the line the pencil's gonna make. Okay. Now, when you look at the still life, you see the shadows. I didn't sketch those in. And I have a light source, so I have a direct light source. And a lot of times people forget about the tone. They're interested in the drawing, they're interested in the color of a picture, but the lights and darks make it look 3D. So that is 3D, it's tall and it's wide and it has a front and back. This is 2D, so we're trying to draw and make look realistic a 3D surface, a 3D object on a 2D surface. The way that we can make it look 3D one way is the shading and tone. Okay, so if I look up there and I notice that, the shadows look the darkest, I think the apple looks a little bit darker than the cup, then I'm going to go ahead and maybe pick out the biggest tone. This is actually easier with chalk pastels, or if you have charcoal pencils. And I'm just doing the background right now. I wish I had sharpened my pencil first, because the longer the lead is on it, the better it'll cover. Okay? I'm gonna even do my apple and my cup, because I can erase out the lighter areas later. But I still want to be able to see my drawing, okay? go to the darker tones, which I can see right here. I'm gonna press a little harder. See that shadow? That's a cast shadow from the light that I have on. Usually the underneath right here is the darkest part. And if you squint your eyes, not close them all the way, if you squint your eyes and look up there at the darks and lights on the apple, you'll see that the left side is lighter, the right side is darker. So I'm gonna do that. And then on the cup, if you squint your eyes and look at the cup, you'll see the same thing. It's a little bit darker on this side and lighter where the light's hitting it. Now it's the opposite for the inside of the cup because the light can't get in there. It's darker on this side and lighter over here. Now if you have chalk pastels at home, just try and use maybe black, white, and gray. Maybe not black in the beginning. And then for the light areas, I'm going to take an eraser, which is on the floor next to me. And I'm going to erase out the light areas. Whoopsie. Hi, Charlie. Okay, so I have old students' parents walking by while I'm demoing. And my mom's still over there, as quiet as a mouse. I know you heard her coughing, but she is not sick. She's trying to get attention. She's not sick. She's ignoring me too. Okay, so what do you think about this? Now, I can make under here is the darkest darks. So you see I have a light, middle, and a dark tone. Light, middle, dark. Light, middle, dark. I can use my fingers and soften this. I can fix some of these edges so they're a little sharper. Okay. I'm going to make it a little darker over on this edge. So that's a good tool to use, is squinting your eyes, because eyes wide open see everything. If we're just trying to kind of capture and see where the dark areas and the shadows are and where the lights are, that gives you a little better perspective of where things really are. Okay, that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow, I hope.